So I'm showing a reductive process today. I'm gonna take my compressed charcoal, I broke it in half, and I'm just going to cover the page in a medium gray charcoal. Ideally, you wanna do this on your pad of paper because it will be smoother. I'm not doing that right now, so you can see some of the grooves from the table are showing through. Then I'm gonna take a paper towel and just going in a circular motion, I'm gonna just soften up what's on the page. You can use your charcoal stick or your charcoal pencil along with your kneaded eraser and your regular eraser. And I'm drawing two objects here. I've got a metal object and I've got a glass object. So I would like you to try to do this with both. And so just to start, I'm gonna forget about my paper towel. You can use your charcoal pencil or your charcoal stick for this. I wanna plan out my composition. I'm actually gonna cut off the top of the bottle because we're short on time, but I would like you to really plan out a composition where both of your objects fit beautifully on the page. So the tea kettle is gonna go there. The bottle is behind the tea kettle and gets cut off slightly. And you can see I'm drawing in the charcoal to start. You could also draw with your eraser. So for example, I could go in, and that's why I call this a reductive process, because I can reduce or erase my. So once you've got the proportions right, and I do want you to take a minute to get your proportions right, and you can see with this technique, it's really easy. If you make a mistake, you just fuzz it out again. So take a minute to get those proportions. I'm getting the curve down here. I haven't worried about the spout yet, but if I wanted, I could go in and add the spout in. I could do that with my eraser or with my charcoal. And here I see a bunch of highlights. You may find that it's easier to start shading sooner rather than later. I feel very encouraged to shade a little sooner than I normally would with this technique. So I'll just go in and add the overall highlights that I see, and then keep refining your edges and your contours and your proportions. Right, and then the handle back here, I'm using the negative space shape in there to help guide me. So some tricks that you can do with the reductive process technique: you can start to incorporate your background tone a little more. So here I've got cast shadows that you may be able to see on the table surface. So that's a cast shadow, and I can fuzz it out to indicate that that's a shadow, cast shadow. So here I've got a stronger shadow on this right side of the bottle. And if I want to define my edge a bit more, I can actually go in with the eraser and I can erase my edge to get a nice crisp edge and lighten my background ever so slightly so that I have more contrast throughout. Now right now that reads as a halo. It's a bit lighter. I don't want that. I want it to fade out. So I can go back in with my finger and smudge it and then darken this edge. So it's a great way of defining your edges by manipulating your background. So let's do it again on this side. So this side is in highlight. So I can gently, very gently darken the background here. So you can see this side is lighter, this side is darker, but it doesn't read in an obvious way. It's because I'm pointing it out to you that makes sense. In terms of the glass, I want you to look for all of the abstractions, any random bright highlights that you see or darker shadows that you see. Look at the overall shape, but then add in any of those little nuances. That'll turn out beautifully. I can see the reflection in here. And same with the metal object. I want you to go in and look for any, if you see reflections, you can certainly add those. But overall, look for the overall highlight and shadow. So really highlight here, and then darker shadows throughout. If you have any questions at all, feel free to email me images and I can make notes on your photos to give you feedback. All right.